All right, today on the surface of the sun, we are going to be powder coating this airboat stand in, what is the color? Stone black. A couple things to note on this guy here is it has some stickers on it that I got to take off, conduit stickers. I don't know where some more of them are. I thought I seen a few of them. Yeah, there's one down there. And then we have a stainless steel bolt that is a ground that is here and right there. And you don't really want to blast those. Stainless steel is already sort of hard to work with as far as a fastener goes. It likes to gall, so the blasting it is not helping it at all. So I like to mask them. I don't like to blast. I don't like to blast fasteners at all if I can keep from it. I mean, the exception to that is if they're rusty or gnarly or whatever, you got to clean them up and then oil them or whatever you're going to do. But so what we're going to do is we're going to blast this and get it prepped and ready to go. Another thing I want to note is this is EMT, which is electrical conduit. Okay, and you notice here, nice and smooth, not cutting me. Everything's good here. Same over here, look at how nice that is. You wait till it comes out of the blaster. That is gonna be a shit show. But I'll show you how to deal with that. It's not that big of a deal. It's one of those things, we're gonna do a conduit parts. You should go over that with the customer when they drop the stuff off. So there's another sticker hiding under there, see here? It's one of the things you go over to the customer and make sure that they understand that it's going to be a little bit of a fight and what you're going to do to try to minimize it from happening. All right, we're going to go in here and blast. I love to give you guys some blasting shots. Right now I'm using a GoPro. This is the first video on this channel, so I'm using a GoPro right now. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. I don't know if I can shoot through the screens right there on the doors. But I sure the hell don't want to put the camera in there with the flying media. A lot of people are probably going to ask what kind of media this is. I'll show you a little something that's pretty nifty. If you look here, we have stainless steel grit. Very fine. If you look at it, very, very fine media. It's wonderful. I'll tell you that it's just wonderful. It does not break down very quickly at all. Let me see, it was like 2.5 years since the last time I bought it. I bought it recently, but it's been about 2.5 years since the last time I bought it. So it lasts an incredibly long time. It does not make a lot of dust. And it's very heavy. It falls to the floor very fast. It's probably twice as heavy as I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a lot heavier than any mined mineral, star blast, garnet, sand, any of that stuff. It's way heavier than that. So that being said, that blast pot in the back is only going to be blasting at about 40 pounds of pressure, 35 to 40 pounds on this conduit. Any higher than that, and this media destroys stuff. I mean, if you want to tear your stuff up, by all means, crank that baby up. But it ruins it. It's terrible. So this is one of the things you got to think about when you're using stainless steel grit. All righty, we're going to get in there and blast this thing, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like after it's blasted. All right, we got this thing blasted and hung up on the cart, and it's about ready to go in the oven to preheat. Just want to show you some things. The little dude is masked. That nut right there is for a return spring, so the ID does not need to be masked. So we're gonna let that dude ride. This pretty much gives you an idea of what you're looking at. It's just all dingled up with the blaster. There's places like this where I go around and I feel it. You know, I see how, do that. And the silver places you see are where I've sanded it with 120 grit paper, just here and there, not everywhere, but had like some sticker gum left over in a spot over here somewhere, like right here. just that sort of thing. Now's the time to go around and feel it and check it out, because at this point, as long as your hands are clean, wash your hands, feel it down, rub it up, you know, get personal with it, and you'll get a better job, because you can catch these things now, where after you have your first coat of powder on, now you're sanding powder and you're doing things that you don't necessarily need to do if you catch it now. It's terrible to powder coat over sticker gum because you didn't see it and then have to sand that between coats. What we're doing here is we're going to preheat this, and we're going to do what's called hot flocking, or spraying it hot flocking they call it. I just call it spraying it hot. So we can get all these little areas, the tight areas like here, here, things that are, you know, underneath these wires are kind of like a booger to get. You know, that type of thing, in and around the washer. We want to seal this bad boy up, and that's noisy. That's just excessive. So we want to seal this thing up. We don't want it to, you know, we don't want it to rust in a month, you know, a year. We want this thing to have some longevity, and that's the reason why we're double coating it. You just get it everywhere. You're less likely to miss anything if you put 2 coats on something. I mean, just as a simple rule. And most things that you see that are painted or powder coated, that's not done in 1 coat. Nothing on this planet that is painted in 1 coat or powder coated in 1 coat looks good. It's generally just on there to keep it from rusting. It's not, you know, that type of thing. None of the cars produced are painted in 1 coat. I'm just saying. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the oven. We're going to hot flock it, and I don't know if I want to do a time lapse of that. You're not really going to learn anything if I do a time lapse, but then stuff like this takes, it's probably going to be a 20-minute deal to spray it, maybe a little more than that. You guys want to sit here and watch somebody spray something for 20 minutes, and I don't know, maybe. I mean, that's kind of the way you learn. If I was just to spray this thing in regular speed, let me know if you guys, that's what you want to see. If you want to see me spray regular speed, I don't really care. It's just going to make the video a little longer, but you know, I can set up a tripod and, you know, pull it out of the oven and whack it while it's hot, and you guys can see it all if you want. But yeah, we're ready to go, and that one right there is hungry and asking me for something without asking me. You ever have that happen? All right, guys, it's showtime. That noise you hear in the background is the oven. This baby's been in there at like 400 degrees. The noise you hear in here is the booth running. And we're going to spray this baby. We got to get our snorkel. Snorkel. I guess I can't talk with a snorkel. That's kind of sucky. What we're going to do, we got the gun turned way down, and all we're doing is just getting it in all these little areas that are going to be, see how it's melting? I don't know if you can see that from where you guys are at, but it is, take my word for it, it's melting. You're going to hear compressors kick on and all kinds of things happening. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but we're going to see. Oh, no light. I wonder why I was blind. Oh, look at there, I can see. Yeah, I guess hard to talk with that respirator on. That's going to be difficult. So as you see, all I'm doing is hitting the welds, these little areas where the wires are. I need a little bit more material than that. Go up a little bit. Going too slow. It's going to be cold by the time it's over. Can't let that happen. Got to at least stay hot enough to melt and attract the material in the corners. What you're doing here basically
is you're using the heat to make the powder stick instead of using electrostatic. Well, you're using both. You're still using electrostatic, but you are, when it lands in the corner of whatever you're spraying it at, it generally sticks when it's hot. And that's not always the case when it's cold. If you have any powder coating experience where you can't get it in the corner, you'll know what I mean. Whew, that's gonna be a terrible spot right there, boy. This color is called Stone Black. It's a prismatic color. It's about, it's a satin black, I would call it. It's a very nice color. The name of the game here is really just to get in and get out. You don't want to put too much in any one spot. You're just, just trying to get it in there where it don't want to go. Generally on stuff like this, I'm going to shoot all the welds because they tend to be, a little bubbly. The airboat world, a lot of this stuff's built in people's backyards, which there's nothing wrong with that, But sometimes you have to work with what you got. A cut-in process shouldn't take very long. You get you about 5-6 minutes. Depends on the temp outside a lot. If it's cold out, you got a lot less. Being hot outside, it's probably 85 or 86 right now in Florida. About 170% humidity. You don't even need a drink, just breathe, you got it, you're good. You can never be dehydrated when it's 100% humidity, I guess. That's not true, but it sounds funny. So as you see, I'm just going around, and any place that I can tell that it's gonna be a kind of a wiener to get in there, we're gonna try to stick it on there. All right, well, we kind of got it a little. I keep hitting the mic in my shirt. I had to put it on the inside because I don't want it to get all contaminated with Stone Black or any other color for that matter. As you can tell, this don't take any real skill, just to say. I mean, it can't take much skill. I can do it, so I can tell you that. Ooh, look at there. Hold down in the hole there. I'm gonna go on the, let's go over on the other side and get that motor mount hole. No, look at there. They're down here too. Isn't that special? Of course they're down there. This style of motor mounts an aircraft engine. I believe it's called a diafocal mount. So that's how you can tell, in case you're wondering what engine goes on here. If it's got this contraption like an airplane, it's aircraft based. If it has a different contraption, it's car motor based. All right, so this is what we're gonna show you. Like right here. All you do is you wait a minute. Is it melting anymore? Nope. All right, so at this point, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and cover the whole thing. I usually start at one end to the other, whoop, go right through it. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start, you pick an end, which end you want? The front? All right, I'll start at the front. All right, I'm glad you guys could help me out with that. But we'll start at the front. And we're just gonna go around and kind of quickly dust her up. Overall, you're just trying to cover up all of the metal. That's the point of the game at this point. And most of the time at this point, and I'm gonna do it, you can crank your powder up just a little bit. Don't get carried away now, but you can just give her a little bit more. And then you want to back your gun distance up a little bit. You don't want to back ionize it, which you can still do. Back ionization is like a sort of a product of either too much voltage, too close of a gun distance, or being in one place for too long of a period of time. That's pretty much the rundown on back ionization. You're basically overcharging, and the powder freaks out and pops off and does all kinds of dances, and not desirable at all. You see why I said I don't want to do this in regular speed? Because this shit's boring. I mean, I'm bored. I know you guys are bored. So we're not going to do this too many times, I don't think, unless everybody says this is what they want. If this is what they want, I give you what you want. But if you tell me, oh, we don't need to see that, then we won't see it. That'll be fine. This is the first video on the channel, so I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, I mean, I know what I'm doing. I'm powder coating something. I've done this before. I've only been doing this collectively 30 years, so yeah, I've done this before once or twice. And as you see, we're just blackening it up, you know, making it all dusty. In the corners and stuff where you already shot, you don't necessarily have to cover it back up, but I like to. If I can. I mean, I don't make it a point if it's, you know, being a weenus. I don't make it a point to, you know, not crying about it if it don't go in there. But 90% of the time, it'll do exactly what you want it to do. Okay. All right, so we're just about getting to the end of the dust coat. I don't know how long that took. I was going to estimate 20 minutes, but it might not be that much. And to be honest with you, since we're putting another coat on here, if you miss a little spot, or it doesn't really, I mean, I like to get it covered. This is good practice, but at the end of the day, is it a deal killer? No, it's not. I just like to have a nice even coat on everything, so that when I put my next coat on, everything's even. We don't want it heavy in one spot, or, you know. All right, so we're just about to the point where we're going to soak this baby back in the oven, and we're only going to go back in the oven enough to get this 350 degrees or so. And I say that because there's a range. Okay, you do not want to, if you're going to put another coat on top, what we don't want to do is cure it all the way out where it doesn't chemically cross-link with the next coat. Okay, so the whole idea is to go through melt and flow and get a little bit into gel, just to kind of ease her on in there a little bit, and pull it out, let it cool. That way, on the next coat, when it gets back up to temperature, it'll start going into gel, and the gel is the cross-link part of it. The gel is where it tightens up and stops moving around. Well, that was a holiday. I didn't have nothing on it. Woo-wee. That's what we call a holiday. When you just totally miss it and it's bare metal, you done took a holiday on that. All right. So what I generally do, especially on black stuff, or anything, honestly, I like to do two things. I like to turn the lights out and look at it, because the light on your head, you're going to be able to see right where you're looking at. Sometimes I'll take the light off my head and direct it around, okay? Then the other thing you're going to see me do is with the lights off, because I want to look up at this. I want to look at all this stuff, right? So you don't want to look up into the sun. I mean, that's no fun. So we turn the lights off and keep the light on our head, and when I look, I can see everything I need to see. So we're going to do that now. Oh, and you notice I don't have the ground on here? It don't care. All right, let's see something. I see a little holiday here. We got to have the gun in our hand when we do this. Babbling along. See, this is the perfect time to ramble. You know, Rambletron? The problem is I don't have anything worthwhile to say. I guess that's what rambling is. You don't have nothing to say, but you're still talking. All right, looking way up in there, I see a little, it's covered with black, but it's a little shiny, which doesn't really matter right this second. We're gonna address that anyway. Because I have this thing where I like for it to be all covered up. So I know I don't got no holidays. All right, we're gonna look up here. See, right there would have been a little light. The cart's a little warm, it ain't too bad. It's probably, I don't know, 140. In the winter, it's nice. Right now, it kind of sucks, but, oh, looky there. Laying down on the job. You gotta hurry up and stand back up. When you're laying down, it's half pay. I don't want the boss catch me doing this. Oh, wait a minute, I am the boss. Shit, I'm caught. Run. All right. We're gonna get this. I didn't like the look of some of the uphill. Same thing on the other side. Okay, being that this is conduit, you can run wires in it. No. It's only going to be in the oven probably, I would say, I'm going to set it for 7 minutes. And I'll be willing to bet you that she's going to be somewhere near 325, 335 to 350, somewhere in that range. And anywhere in that range is good. I usually, especially on solid tone colors, my rule is to pull it up to at least 300 degrees. On a metallic though, that'll bite you in the behind, because what happens is when you put the clear on, the base cannot hold the weight of the clear, and it slides when the clear cures and makes you look like a bowling ball paint job instead of what you're after. I mean, if you're after bowling ball, by all means, but it ain't even. They don't, you know, it's not a pretty bowling ball. You know, it's like a gutter ball. It's terrible. All right, so what we gonna did is we gonna push this bad boy in the oven, and I'm gonna go wash up because I can feel I got this all over me. I'm fairly grounded, I'd say. And we're gonna throw this in there for 7 or 8 minutes, and we'll get back to it and I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. All right, it's been about 15, maybe 20 minutes. I went and blasted and prepped up some other stuff. Please don't turn on. Thank you. So basically what we're gonna do now is what I call dusting it up. We're gonna put another coat on it. We're gonna cover all the, let's call it glossy. It's not really glossy, it's semi-gloss, but you know, whatever. For this, you're just covering up the gloss and making it dusty is basically what we're gonna do. We got our ground on up there, and that's about it. I just have to dust her up, and then this particular powder bakes at 10 minutes at 400 degrees. What that means is once the metal or the part reaches 400 degrees, from that point it takes 10 minutes. So depending on how thick it is that what you're working with, you have to kind of calculate that. So based on our first deal that we had going here, we went in the oven at about 125 degrees, and it was in there for 7 minutes. It came out around 350. So that's telling me that we're going to be about 9 or 10 minutes to heat up to get to 400 degrees, and we can verify that with a non-contact infrared thermometer. And then that's it. Once we get it up to 400, we set the timer for 10 minutes. I'm actually gonna set the timer for 19 or 20 minutes and then let it, when it gets to 10, I'll double check it with a non-contact infrared thermometer, and we'll make sure it's cured properly. One of the biggest things about curing powder that a lot of people don't know is all the wonderful properties of powder coating, meaning the chip resistance, the corrosion resistance, the mar resistance, all of those beautiful properties that you get from powder coating all come in the last 10% of the cure. So, that being said, if you get 90% of the way there, you failed because you didn't make it. You got to get all the way to 100% on this one. So, being that this is already a flat color, okay, you're better to go a little long than a little short. So, all that being said, this is probably going to go in the oven for 21 or 22 minutes, just to make sure I catch all the thicker pieces here. You know, you gotta, you're basically clocking the temperature on the thickest part, you know. So the material does have some overbake resistance, and I generally don't like to exceed the cure by more than 30%. If you're doing something with clear on it, boy, looky here. If you want it glossy, the first thing that happens when you overcure something is it knocks the gloss off of it. It won't be as glossy as it should be. Being as this is already a flat color, I would rather opt for it being cured. This is a rough service item. These guys beat the utter snot out of these things. So this gives you a good idea of what it looks like with one coat on it. And it's not gonna look a whole lot different with two coats because this is a good single coat. I mean, a lot of people would bake this and let it fly. Nah, I just can't do it. It looks better. I can tell the difference. So I've been doing this a long time, but I can tell the difference and my customers can tell the difference, and that's what's important. So we're gonna get to doing that second coat, and I guess I'm gonna set you guys up and maybe talk through it full length. This is gonna be a long video, but I guess if you wanna see it, we'll show it to you. All right, thank you. All right, we're going for our second coat here. We checked to make sure we had enough powder in the hopper, test fired the gun. You want to start from the front or the back? What do you think? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's the front again, look at there. I guess we're the front type people. All right, got my headlamp on. And what I'm gonna do, I want to maintain on the second coat at least 8 to 10 inches, sometimes 12 inches of distance. If you get close, what I call coming off of here, it's called a corona. I don't like to be using perfect terms. I call it the solar wind. Just keep it away. That's all I can tell you. If you want to know what it does, take your powder coat and go and get close to it on the second coat. But be prepared for it to be a turd. All right, there we go. So basically we're just gonna, what I'm looking at is I can see the gloss because I'm wearing a light on my head, right? Or the sheen of the powder that's under it, the first coat. So what I'm doing is I'm just letting the gun do the work. You know what I mean? Don't try to get carried away and force it on there. This is not the time to force it. You had your chance to do that when it was hot. That's the force it on coat. So from here, it's all finesse. There's no, if it ain't gonna go, change the gun angle. So, you know, you have problems in corners, just, you know, sometimes a choppa works, you know. There's all kinds of little different motions that'll make it do what you're asking it to do. But forcing it is not how you're gonna get it done. It's just terrible, just to tell you. All right, I'm gonna go around here. You want to, just to make sure you cover up the shine, If you cover up the shine, there's enough material on there where it will not be grainy, and I'm wiggling the mic, damn it. It will not be grainy. It shouldn't be grainy, that's what you're hoping for. And it'll be covered. So if you can see through it a little bit, like you see a little shine or a sheen, there's not enough there. When I'm looking at this now, where the places I've sprayed are flat. There's no gloss to them whatsoever. And I can see the bars that I haven't hit versus what I have hit. There's a little holiday right there, see? I can see a shine. So that's pretty much the idea of the light on your head. Not only is it showing you, you know, you're able to see, of course, you know, you can't see without light. I mean, we're not have to go back that far, are we? Oh, Lord. But it's a thing where you're almost looking for the shine or the thinness of it to know that you have it on there. And once you have it, okay, covered, you're done. Don't go back to it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I like to spray it from both sides. I spray it from one side until it's covered, and generally the other side will be covered, maybe not 100%, and you'll go over there and you'll see, and then at that point what you want to do is use a little bit more speed on that side, and you won't overdo it. This is a lot of powder coating is not overdoing it. You know, a lot of people just try to get too carried away with it, but generally, I mean, it's hard to screw this up, to be honest with you. I mean, generally it wants to do what you want it to do. It really does. I mean, it really wants to work with you. But it doesn't always do that. What do we got on here for voltage? No fucking wonder. They're a little hot. Okay, so I was just spraying the second coat, and I just noticed it being a little bit hot. It's going on real easy, and in some places over here, I'm noticing that it wants to try to back ionize. This black stuff, it makes like a white spot, if that makes any sense. And what that is certain raw materials in the powder accumulating in one spot, and it appears white. And if you see that, that's it. It don't want no more than that. You already got it. You did it. Congratulations. Just move on. It's really a lot about that. It's a lot about knowing when to stop. Because too much is too much. I should have that lower than that. Generally, I'll spray the first coat. I like the first coat around 45 kV or so. Some materials won't spray unless they're that high. They just won't stick. It falls right on the floor. But I like about 45 kV on the first coat, and then I turn it down. Most like clear, I'll spray clear very low, like in the 30s, low 30s. Sometimes less than that, depending on what I'm spraying. So generally what I like on this color is a 45 kV first coat, and then I like to be around 30, 35 on the second coat. You just don't need all the kV the second time. It does what you want it to do. You try to use too much, it wants to start to back ionize on you. And that's pretty much, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a balance between coverage and back ionizing, you know? And that's pretty much what it is. You want to get enough on there so that it's covered and then it's not grainy for your second coat, and then you don't want so much on there that it starts to back ionize. So that's pretty much the balance that you're trying to keep here, you know. And and depending on the color, you know, their characteristics are different. It's like the blacks and stuff like that. They like the gloss black, satin black, which is what this is. They're a little easier to back ionize than some other colors. But what I like about these colors are the gloss and satin black, is they do what I was explaining as far as the white spot. So it gives you a little warning. It's like, hey buddy, ease up on that. And it gives you that little warning. So if you're looking for that and you're not just spraying it till it totally blows out and back ionizes, then you nailed it. So we're just about getting to the end of it. All right, and this is the point when you get to the end of it where, since you've been over it, you pick up the gun speed. You got what I'm saying? You get whipping around, you get it, you know, you're just going around getting these little areas that you might not have got or whatever. You don't, you know, you got the bulk of it covered. The back ionization is 3 different things in combination. It's voltage, it's how much you're putting on, and it's gun distance. Those are the things that'll, I got white spots like crazy right there, boy. Woo, I just don't like it. All right, we're gonna just let it eat. Yeah, it did not like that 45 kV, just to tell you. It'll be fine though. This is a color that flows pretty well. It does what you want it to do. All right, so at this point, we're gonna do just like we did on the first coat, and we are going to turn the lights out, and we're looking for shinies. At the end of the day, you know, you got it this far. You went over it, did a fairly even coat. I didn't spray up at it, but I do that when I'm looking for shinies. But there's no sense in looking directly into the sun when you're doing it. So we will shut the lights off, and we'll lay on the floor and roll around like a fish out of water. It'll be fun. Join me, won't you? All right, we're gonna start at the front. We got this whole front theme going on here. And anything you see that just has a little gloss to it, you know, these complicated parts that are, you know, a whole lot easier to powder coat a flat sheet of aluminum than it is this. I can promise you that. But flat sheets of aluminum can get boring. I mean, this is boring. Don't get me wrong. This is not, woohoo, yeah, wow, woo, yeah, it's great. But it's delicious. It is delicious. Up there in them feet, I see shiny as like a son of a bitch. Those are pretty good. All right, let's go down here. See what we look like. Huh? It's pretty good. See a couple of spots that need attention, but it's pretty good. I'll tell you right now, it's much worth laying on the ground and rolling around in all this powder than it is redoing this thing because you didn't see something. Well, I'll do a lot of looking before I have to respray something. I mean, sometimes I'll look at these things and look them over for 10 minutes before I put them in the oven, because now's your chance. You know, this is it. After this, it's on a trailer or back to the owner so he can go slide around in the river. I mean, we still got to do the guard, which it's the same process as this, different shaped part. Not a big issue. Look at that little, I don't know if you can see that from there, but it's a little shiny right there. Yeah, it ain't no mo. Oh yeah. The whole shiny thing, it just, it's a way to do it. And you can really see it in the dark. If you shut all the lights off and put a light on your head, is the best way that I've found to look at all this stuff and make sure that you got it. You can't guess. You're not getting paid enough to guess, because if you guess and you're wrong, you're doing it again, and you just can't charge enough to do it that many times. So you really need to try to get it all on the first shot. Well, this is technically the second shot, so, but this is the one that counts. This is it. This is the last one. I've been going around in circles. And you pretty much just got to go around and look for anything glossy or sheen that has a sheen to it and cover it up. That's it. You always got to make sure you go over the wire. The wire is almost like an automatic thing, but it is not. Nothing's automatic in this world, just to tell you. You want to do the discount double check on that. You're setting yourself up for a booty bite if you don't. And those are no good. No good. This is just really not wanting to do it on the second coat right there. So a lot of times you can use the pulsar technique, which is what you just saw. Oh yeah, I got it. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna pump the trigger. For some reason that gets it. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. When it works, I stopped asking questions. Well, we're looking like she's all dusty and ready to go in the oven. Yeah, I'll look at it too many times, and I'll look at it too many more times, and people are like, put it in the oven already. This is like being on the beach somewhere, except for shittier. So this is where we get to put this away, because we probably got it all. And just one more, I know, put it in the oven already. Jesus, what are you gonna do, look at it all day? Well, I'm gonna look at it most of the day. The thing about it is, if you don't catch it now, you're gonna look at it forever. Or you're gonna have to redo it. And I don't like it. I just want to get it done. Sometimes you gotta walk around on your knees. The old lady asked me, how do you get your knees so dirty? Well, there you go. All right, well, what we're gonna do is we are gonna take that ground off and roll this bad boy in the oven, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. How about that? All right, this is what we got after the second coat. It baked for 21 minutes. It is nice. It is very nice. This is one of the smoothest laying, flat satin black, whatever you want to call it, matte. You know, you get as gay as you want, whatever. There's just not very many of them that are this smooth. I mean, it lays out, boy. And it's actually better on the second coat, so long as you don't cure the first coat too long. You kind of want both coats to self-level together. Does that make any sense? I mean, it's kind of how I picture it, but it's a banger. A lot of people like this color. It just lays out good, and if you're just looking for satin black, it's a good one. If you look how the corners are, I mean, the welds are, they're heavy enough. They got enough material on them in the corners. And that's really what, you know, that's what your hot coat and 2 coats does for you. It just, you know, she's sealed up. Even all inside the nuts. Look at that. Beautiful. So it's a wrap here at Hot Colors, and we'll figure out what the next video is going to be on, and we'll I plan on doing videos like on masking and blasting and all, you know, specific things too. This is just was like a general how to powder coat something fairly complicated. You see a lot of people on there teach you how to powder coat things and are doing a flat panel or a, you know, even a wheel. A wheel is, I mean, it's child's play compared to this. This is a complicated piece, and a lot of people fail while doing these type of things. You know, race car chassis, side-by-side chassis. It's just one of those things that, you know, the spray times are 20, 30 minutes on some of these parts, and it's, you know, it's just the way it goes. If people want big stuff powder coated, it's got to look good too. So I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.